Call all Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shah Mashiach, Wa Malak by Hashem, Barak, Kakwarash, Barakathum, Tarawa, Salakia, Baba Bawa, Kwam Yasharala. Today's lesson, we're going to go into the curses of Deuteronomy. And the purpose of this lesson is so that people will understand and recognize who they are, because these curses, they are like they're a marker, an identifier to who the people are, because it's prophesied that our name would be no more remembrance. And so I'm gonna bring out some of the curses. Now, a lot of these curses gonna apply to some people, but not all. Different Israelites are suffering different curses. Not all curses will apply to every person. All right, so we can start with. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. Now this is one of the biggest identifiers of an Israelite. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Ships. By the way thereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, talking about the land of Israel. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Now, the slaves that were on the auction blocks were Israelites. They were not Africans. Africans were not selling Africans. Matter of fact, Africans, who are the Hamites, they rounded up the Israelites after they fled into Africa away from Egypt. They fled to the west coast of Africa because they're being chased. So they fled from Egypt and went into West Africa. And the Hamites, along with the Ishmaelites, the Arabs, they rounded up the Israelites and sold them. And when it says no man shall buy you, it means not to purchase with money. It means to save you out of your condition. That's what no man shall buy you means. Alright, now we're going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee amongst all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood or stone. That scripture basically translates to, you're going to scatter us all over the world. And that's what happened to us. And in these lands, we're going to serve other gods, meaning either wood or stone. Wood and stone can be anything. That's basically what the Israelites were worshiping, anything, because they were searching for an identity. And serving other gods, that includes Jesus, that includes Buddha, that includes the Rosario, the Virgin Mary, Buddhist, Hindu, whoever else, whatever else you worship, besides the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who is the true and living God. All these other people, these people worshiping up in these fake churches, they are idols, which will get you destroyed if you are an Israelite. The nations, they done anyway, because the laws don't apply to them. They pretty much can do whatever they want to, but they will be going into slavery soon. Alright, now this is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And among these nations thou shalt find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee a trembling heart, a failing of eyes, and a sorrow of mind. Who does that apply to? You will find no ease here. The sole of thy foot shall have no rest. Shall give thee a trembling heart here. You constantly spooked. You always in spook mode. You know, every time the police get behind you, you shook, you know. And that's just normal because we're in the valley of the shadow of death. Life is not guaranteed here for us. So that's why we're going through it. Now we're going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 66. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life. That is taking place. That's one of the curses that being fulfilled toward the Israelites in America specifically. Now we're gonna go. Wait, let me explain the chapter of Deuteronomy in case y'all want to go back and read it. It's very short chapter. It's only 68 verses, I think. Now, verses 1 through 14. These are talking about all the blessings we would get if we obeyed the law, statutes, and commandments. Chapter 15, verse 15 on down through the rest of the chapter is describing the curses that we would be under if we did not obey the law, statutes, and commandments. And that's why we catching his hell now. Even though we don't remember from our past lives, but yeah, we paying for it now because we are reincarnated every 34th generation. So, anybody that's alive today that gets pushed to death, you getting judged. You either getting judged for something you did in this life or your past life. Now, let me see. We're going to go back down to Deuteronomy chapter 28. And this is verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto my voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Those are the curses of Deuteronomy. Now we can go down to, I think I read 14. This is verse 14. And thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I commanded thee this day, to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods to serve them. It's a big no-no. You worshiping idols, other gods. That is not. We have a very jealous God. So yes, that's why he putting it on us right now. All right. Now we're going to go down to this is still chapter 28 in Deuteronomy. Now these are identifiers. Verse 9, chapter 28, Deuteronomy. The Lord shall establish thee a holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of thy Lord thy God, and walk in his ways. Alright, now we're going to verse 10. And all people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of thee. It's pretty much how it's going. You don't have the freedom to serve your true living God here, because there's a lot of soft people here, there's a lot of liars here, and they get offended because they believe a lie, but you rather tell the truth. They get mad at you for telling the truth, when they should be mad at the people that's been lying to them this whole time. So, now we're going to go down to verse 20. Verse 20, Deuteronomy chapter 28. The Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke in all that thou settest thine hand unto do, unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings whereby thou hast forsaken me. Vexation, you're always worried. It goes on and on. It's all leading to bad health because you're under the curses. And if you stress all the time, it will affect your health. Now we're going to go to 25. Verse 25. The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them, and thou shalt be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. All the tribes are scattered throughout the earth. So, I mean, all this stuff we've been talking about up to this point, ask yourself this question. If we are not the real Israelites, who fits these curses? Who went into slavery by ships other than us? Where are the records? Where are the documentation? These people over there in Israel, they have no record of going into slavery by ships. So how can they be the Israelites? They have always known who they were. So how can they be the Israelites? They are never under any type of hardships whatsoever. Matter of fact, our tax money is taking care of that welfare state. So how do they fit the curses? Now we're going to keep on reading. We're going to go down to verse 30. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. And thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof. Now, the majority of the nations and the tribes on this planet, who is that happening to the most? Alright. Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand. Alright, that's self-explanatory pretty much. Your sons and daughters will be given away to other people. Foster care, CPS, child protective services, stuff like that. And yeah, that it pertains to us. Verse 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always. Those are the curses. We're going to go down to 36. The Lord shall bring thee and thy king which thou shalt set over thee unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there thou shalt serve other gods, wood and stone. I think we already read that one, but that's alright though. Repetition, baby, get it down. Alright, now we're going to go to 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword amongst all nations whither the Lord shall lead thee. A byword, an astonishment, a proverb. You're going to be called everything under the sun except who you really are. Nigger, wetback, savage, thug, gangster, all this bullshit except for who we really are. Excuse my French. Alright, now let's go to verse 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. People don't really enjoy their kids no more like they used to because everybody's working. And yeah, your job is a form of captivity. It's a form of slavery because if you go a whole week or two without going to work, you can't eat. You can't pay your rent. You can't pay nothing. So to keep up your lifestyle, you have to go into captivity for these people to get money so that you can live. And unrighteous decrees make it slavery. So let's go to chapter 40. Verse 44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. When it's talking about he, it means the people in rulership, the Edomites. The Edomites are the head. Israel is the tail. We are getting the worst of the worst, basically, here. Verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee. Thou shalt be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments, statutes, in which he commanded thee. Verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and a wonder, for upon thy seed forever. All of these markers, these identifiers, that's what that verse is talking about. A sign for a wonder. You wonder why all this stuff is happening to you. All this so-called quote unquote bad luck. It's not bad luck. It's the curses. Alright. Verse 47. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, in which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Now, when it says you will go to, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and thirst and in nakedness and for want of all things. Think about America today. If you're hungry, you got to go to the grocery store. Matter of fact, they didn't start banning seeds. They don't even want you growing your own food no more. So if you want food, something to drink, you got to go to the grocery store and pay them. And in all nakedness, if you got to buy clothes, well, you can make your own clothes. But, you know, it's not very practical today. You know, I still know people that make their clothes, but the majority of Israelites, they just go buy new clothes. And it shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until you have destroyed thee. Self-explanatory. Alright, now we're going to go to 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from afar, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. Verse 50. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. They don't care. The Edomites, they slaughtering because of the perpetual hatred they got for Jacob. For the tribes, Yasharallah, all of them, for real. That's why they give all the tribes hell. It's just in them. The Lord programmed them to do this as a punishment to us. Esau is the Lord's whooping stick to punish us. And after Esau finishes punishing us, he incriminates himself to be punished as well. See how the Most High play that chess game? Alright, now let's go to verse 52. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates, until thy high and fenced walls come down, wherein thou trusteth throughout all thy land. He shall besiege thee in all gates throughout all the land, for the Lord thy God has given thee. Now the word besieged, I got a definition for it right here. It means surrounded by armed forces aiming to capture it or force surrender. That's basically what happened to us. We were forced to surrender and basically give in to the law, the unrighteous decrees of this land. So we really didn't have a choice in the matter. Alright, now we go on to verse 54. So that the man is tender among you and is very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. That's why you got quote unquote black on black crime, and it's really not black on black crime. That's just how the media pump it, just so to give everybody an idea of we just a bunch of stupid murderers. But actually, in all actuality, it's so far from the truth, because the wild murderers shooting up schools and movie theaters are the real terrorists, the Edomites. But the news ain't gonna say that because the media is controlled by the Edomites, who is your natural enemy, as well as Amalek, the fake Jews, the Amalekites. They are your biggest enemy along with Esau, Edom. Alright, now we're going to go into verse 56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, toward her son and toward her daughter. Hence, adultery, cheaters, families breaking up, splitting up, divorces. We under the curses. The black family is almost extinct right now. Pretty much it's because of Section 8, because of food stamps, because Esau has lifted Eve, female Israelite, above Jacob, saying, well, yeah, we'll give you rent, take care of your rent, and we'll take care of your food. Just can't have a man in the house, because that's an incentive for breaking up the black household, and Eve fell for it. Now we're gonna go to verse 63. And it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoiced over you to do you good and to multiply you, so the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught. And ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it. That's self-explanatory, basically, because he's saying you follow the law, statutes, and commandments, he's going to bless you. It'll be his pleasure. If you don't, it's going to be his pleasure to destroy you as well. So what we going to do, Yasharala? Alright, now we're going to the book of Deuteronomy, still in the book. We're going to chapter 32. Find it real quick. Chapter 32, verse 21. This is why we are under the curses. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. Now, a nation is a people before it's a place. Now, who do you think that nation is he's referring to? The nation of Edom, Esau, Edomites. He paid us back by putting the Edomites over us. Alright, now we're going to, still in Deuteronomy chapter 32, but we're going down to verse 26. I said, I will scatter them into the corners, and I will make the remembrance of them to cease from among men. Now, think about that verse for a second. If he makes the remembrance of us to cease from amongst men, that means the term Israelites. That term is gone. It's just been brought back into remembrance because of the translation, the process of the kingdom being translated from one people to another. And during that process, we were granted back our heritage, our culture, our identity, and the name of our God and Lord and Savior. Now, if you think about it, the Israelis, they have never been forgotten. So how could they fit this curse? They can't. It's all a lie. Now we're going to 20. We're going to go to the book of Romans. Chapter 10. And we're going to go down to verse 19. But I say, did not Israel know? First Moses saith, I will provoke you to jealousy by them that are no people, and by a foolish nation I will anger you. It's a precept to back up what I just brought out. So how does that curse fit the Israelis? What foolish nation is over them to provoke them to anger? Nobody. Because the United States is basically up under the state of Israel. Anything the state of Israel wants or needs, America got it. You know why? Because America is being blackmailed to keep the secret. And this secret is, okay, United States, we'll agree to be the fake Jews. We ain't gonna tell nobody. But we ain't gonna tell nobody who the real Jews are, the real 12 tribes are, but you got to pay us $1 billion plus a year. Okay. That's how bad they wanted us to not be in power. So we must be a powerful people. If the Edomites and the Amalekites went through all this just to keep us from our power. Alright? Now, it's Romans 10 and 19. And I got we're going to go to Romans 9. Romans 9, chapter 9, verse 26. And it shall come to pass that in a place where it is said unto them, Ye are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living God. Now, how long were we denied our true identity in this world, in this country, specifically? For the longest time, because they didn't want us to remember anything. That's why they beat our culture and our heritage out of us. And we were killed, murdered, if we were caught reading the Bible. Now, it says that in that place where it is said unto them, Ye are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living God. That's because the books were unsealed. And now we are coming back into remembrance of who we are. Now, let the fake Jews over there tell it they never forgot who they were. So how do they fit the curses? They always knew who they were. Alright. Now we're going to go, I got a precept on that. Hosea. The book of Hosea. Chapter 1. Verse 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it is said unto them, Ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, Ye are the sons of the living God. Precept upon precept, line upon line. Here a little, there a little. Yeah, you can read the book front to back if you want to, but you won't really understand it until you learn how to go precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little, because this book is written in code and parables. So if you don't know the code, the book will still be sealed to you, and you will have no understanding. The book is unsealed unto the prophets because the spirit of the prophets are subject unto the prophets. That means if in our past life, if we were prophets, we come back as prophets with the book unsealed unto us. That's how we get understanding. Now, we're going to go back up to the book of Deuteronomy to prove who we are. And this is chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So how we equal? How we equal? When it is written in the Bible that Esau Edom is a base man. He's the weaker vessel. So how are we equal? Alright. Now, we're going to go to Isaiah. A few more curses. Book of Isaiah chapter 10. Verse 6. I will send him against a hypocritical nation. Who is that, people? Babylon the Great. America. Egypt all over again. Babylon. Yeah. And I will send him against a hypocritical nation, Salakia, and against the people of my wrath, and I will give him a charge to take the spoil. That means to rob. And to take the prey. And to tread them down like the mire in the streets. George Floyd. Everybody else getting shot and choked. And everything that's happening in the streets. Under the curses. Alright, now we still gonna be in the book of Isaiah, but we going to chapter 65, verse 2. I have spread out my hands all the day unto a rebellious people, which walketh in a way that is not good after their own thoughts. Do what you want to do. That YOLO spirit. You only live once. You know what I'm saying? Verse 3. A people that provoketh me to anger continually to my face, that sacrifices in gardens and burneth incense upon altars of brick. That means you worshiping idols. Big no. You will be put to death real quick for that. Alright. I'm going to go down to verse 9. And I will bring forth a seed out of Jacob, and out of Judah, an inheritor of my mountains, and mine elect shall inherit it, and my servants shall dwell there. That's a future prophecy that hasn't been fulfilled yet, but it's right around the corner. Now, we're going to go to verse 12. Therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall bow down to the slaughter, because when I called, ye did not answer. When I spake, ye did not hear, but the evil before mine eyes, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. That's going on right now, people, because when he said that when he cried out, but ye did not answer, he's crying out to us, the prophets, the elders, the apostles, double honors, all the brothers, all the Akyam, Hakyam Wakwa, all the brothers and the sisters. We are his voice. We are his mouthpiece. If you don't hearken right now, before the gates of mercy close, guess what? He ain't gonna be studying you then. It's over. You just done. So you better come on in while you can. Alright, now verse 12. We're gonna still be in the book of Isaiah, but we're going into chapter 45, verse 5. I am the Lord, and there is none else. There is no God beside me. I girded thee, thou hast not known me. If y'all don't get it together in these last days, if you don't recognize him, he ain't gonna recognize you. So in those last days, when destruction hits this planet, don't be trying to come on in at the last minute, because he ain't gonna be trying to hit. So right now is the time to repent and come back to the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahshua. Because when it starts, it's a wrap, baby. It's a wrap. I'm telling you, it's over with. Now, 45 verse 4. Okay, I already got that one. Now we're gonna go to 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9 and 10. This describes Yasharallah, the 12 tribes of Israel. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Now, when he called you out of darkness, he's giving you the truth of all things. The light is the truth. The darkness is the lies. So, now that you got the truth, what you gonna do with it? You better run with it. Now, see, I think that's all I got, y'all. Yeah. Hold up. I got some more meat. Hold on, we ain't through yet. Just scrolling through. Yeah. Okay. This is the book of Baruch. I forgot about these. Chapter 2, verse 30. This is an identifier of who Israel is. For I knew they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves. Now, once again, like I stated before, the Israelis always knew who they were. And they're not in the land of their captivity. They're in our land, stolen land. So how do they fit these curses? They don't. This is the book of Baruch. Again, chapter 4, verse 6. Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, because ye have moved the Most High to wrath. Ye were delivered unto your enemies. That's not talking about the Israelis. It's talking about the Israelites. Verse 7. Book of Baruch, chapter 4. For ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils, and not to the Most High. So that's why we catching it, y'all. That's why. I'm just going over my notes, see if I covered everything. And I think I did. I got a few more. Okay, this is the book of Baruch, chapter 1, verse 19. Since the day that the Most High brought our forefathers out of the land of Egypt, and to this present day, we have been disobedient unto the Most High our power, and he have been negligent in not hearing our voice. Now, the Israelis, they got everything they could ever want or need. So, how do they fit that curse? They don't. chapter, verse 2, to bring upon us great plagues such as never happened up under the whole heaven, as it comes to pass in Jerusalem according to the things that were written in the law of Moses. So everything that the Lord told Moses to write in the book of Deuteronomy, in which Moses, he wrote the book of Deuteronomy, Leviticus, Genesis, Exodus, and I think it's one more. So everything he told Moses to write, he wrote it, and they all came to pass. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 1, verse 4. Moreover, he hath delivered them to be in subjection to all the kingdoms that are around us, to be as a reproach and desolation among all the people round about, where the Most High has scattered them. Now, when were the Israelis scattered? When were they sold? When did they go into slavery? By ship. They didn't. Because they are not the people of the God of Isaac, Abraham, and Jacob. This is the book of Judges, chapter 10, verse 13. Yet ye have forsaken me and served other gods, wherefore I will deliver you no more. Serving other gods, you see where that gets you. Your power is gone. He is your power. And if you move him to anger and jealousy, he ain't going to be your power no more. He put a foolish nation over you to provoke you to anger. Now you see how it feels. Just like back in the curses, when it said a man shall beget a wife and another man shall lay with her. Now you know how it feels, because we committed spiritual adultery against the Most High. We worship other gods. It says in this book, we are married unto him. So when we worship other gods, we commit spiritual adultery, which moves him to jealousy and anger. So what did he do to get us back? Exactly. The ones that we love, they commit adultery. Real adultery, not spiritual adultery. And that's even worse. So, yeah. He is a power. He's a Alashaya. Terrible demon-like power. I got one more verse. This is the book of Judges, verse 10, chapter 14. I'm sorry, did I say that right? Book of Judges, chapter 10, okay, verse 14. Go and cry unto the God which ye have chosen. Let them deliver you in your time of tribulation, which is coming, and it's called Jacob's trouble. So, whoever you worshiping now, he basically said, when tribulation comes, let Jesus come save you. Let Buddha come save you. Let Christ bless come save you. It's not going to happen. And you're going to be down here burning with the rest of them. So if I was you, I'd go ahead and get a good seat on the grill before it get hot, before it get crowded. Because you're going to burn, baby. And that's all I got for now. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah Mashiach Wa Malak, by Hashem Habarak Wakak Warash Barakatham Tarawa Salakia Baba Ba Wakwam Yasharala. Allah wa ya. Wa ababa ba.